Now you strike back wit and NLP that hit the mark. Introduction to the world of quick-wittedness. Why quick-wittedness is important. In our everyday lives, we are constantly surrounded by words. Some words build us up, while others hurt us. But what if, in such moments, we had the ability to respond to disrespectful remarks or unexpected attacks with a quick, clever and perhaps even humorous answer? This is where quick-wittedness comes into play. Quick-wittedness doesn't just mean reacting cleverly to provocations. It strengthens us, gives us security and helps us to appear confident in almost every situation. Whether at work, among friends or in the family, quick-witted people appear self-confident, likable and humorous. They radiate a calmness that helps them to remain calm even in stressful or unpleasant moments. Quick-wittedness is a form of communication that strengthens and protects at the same time. But why is quick-wittedness so important? Self-protection and boundaries. We often find ourselves in situations where we feel verbally attacked. With quick-wittedness we can defend ourselves elegantly without appearing aggressive. It is a tool with which we can protect ourselves from verbal attacks and at the same time clearly show our boundaries. Promotes self-confidence. Quick-wittedness makes us feel prepared and able to react confidently in difficult situations. This strengthens our self-confidence and gives us a feeling of control and security. Constructive conflict resolution. Quick wit often helps to defuse tense situations. A well-placed, witty remark can relax arguments and bring about a positive turn. Humorous quick wit can bring people closer together and avoid misunderstandings. Strengthening social skills. Quick-witted people are often perceived as quick-witted, charming and charismatic. They have the ability to direct conversations and come across to others as interesting and intelligent conversation partners. This can open doors in both professional and private environments. Coping with stressful situations. The ability to react quickly helps us to keep a cool head even in stressful or unpleasant situations. Quick-wittedness teaches us to think quickly, give clear answers and remain calm. Quick-wittedness is much more than a spontaneous reaction to a remark. It is an attitude to life that strengthens us not only in verbal exchanges, but also in our inner attitude. It gives us power over our words and ensures that we can appear strong and confident in every situation. With this book, you will learn how to use this ability in your everyday life and how to defend yourself better, present yourself and achieve your goals. The journey into the world of quick-wittedness starts here. Let's explore together how this skill can change your life and how you can become a quicker, more confident and happier version of yourself. Step by step. The importance of self-confidence. Self-confidence is one of the central pillars of quick-wittedness. Without self-confidence, we often lack the courage to react quickly, and insecurity blocks us when it comes to responding quickly in difficult situations. But what exactly does self-confidence mean? And why does it play such a big role in the art of quick-witted communication? Self-confidence means being aware of oneself. That is, knowing and accepting one's own strengths, weaknesses, values and abilities. A confident person exudes inner strength because he or she is sure of his or her own identity. This self-confidence is reflected in the way one interacts with others, especially in challenging or stressful situations. But why is self-confidence so important for quick-wittedness? Inner security creates external composure. Self-confident people are not easily unsettled. Self-confident people feel comfortable in their own skin and are less susceptible to the opinions or attacks of others. This inner security enables them to react calmly and prudently even in unpleasant situations, which forms the basis for quick-wittedness. Fast reactions require self-confidence. Quick-wittedness means reacting spontaneously and directly to a situation. This requires courage and self-confidence. Insecurity often leads to hesitation because you are afraid of saying the wrong thing or being perceived negatively. Self-confidence, on the other hand, gives us the freedom to trust our own words and act courageously. Setting boundaries through quick-wittedness. Self-confidence helps us to clearly define and defend our own boundaries. Quick-wittedness is often a way of communicating nonverbally. This far and no further. Those who are confident in themselves can set clear boundaries with words without appearing hurtful or aggressive. This ability to maintain boundaries while remaining confident is an important part of quick-wittedness. Self-confidence promotes authenticity. Quick-wittedness works best when it is authentic. If you are self-confident, you don't have to pretend, but can remain authentic and honest in every situation. This authenticity ensures that quick-witted remarks seem natural and likable, rather than rehearsed or artificial. It comes from within and suits your own personality. A positive demeanor strengthens communication. People who appear self-confident are often perceived as competent, convincing and charismatic. This positive charisma makes it easier to keep the upper hand in conversations or discussions. Quick-wittedness builds on this positive energy because it strengthens the self-confidence to find the right words in every situation. Self-confidence and quick-wittedness are therefore closely linked. Quick-wittedness without self-confidence is like a well-honed sword without a firm grip. It may be sharp, but without the right guidance it loses its effectiveness. Self-confidence gives us the support we need to go through everyday life with quick-wittedness and confidence. In this book, we will not only develop techniques and strategies for more quick-wittedness, but also find ways to strengthen our self-confidence step by step. Because only those who believe in themselves can draw attention to themselves with the right words at the right time. Strong, confident and self-assured. What is quick-wittedness? Quick-wittedness is the art of reacting quickly, intelligently and appropriately in unexpected or challenging situations. It is the ability to respond spontaneously and confidently to verbal attacks, comments or jokes without faltering. Quick-wittedness requires quick thought processes, linguistic fluency and often a pinch of humor. But quick-wittedness is more than just the ability to counter in a clever way. It is also a form of social intelligence. Quick-witted people manage to keep control of the conversation even in unpleasant situations, defuse misunderstandings and assert their position clearly and often charmingly. The art is to play with words flexibly and skillfully without losing the dignity of the other person or your own attitude. Quick-wittedness can take on different forms. It can be direct and assertive, subtle and charming, humorous and disarming, or calm and composed. What they always have in common, however, is their ability to direct and strengthen communication in a confident and respectful manner. Difference between aggressive and humorous repartee. Not all types of quick-wittedness are the same, and there are subtle but important differences in how quick-wittedness is perceived. Two particularly prominent variants are aggressive and humorous quick-wittedness. Aggressive repartee. Aggressive repartee aims to hit the opponent directly and often overwhelm them verbally. The answer is deliberately formulated sharply in order to put the attacker in his place or to show him that you will not take any nonsense. Such reactions are necessary in certain situations. For example, when serious insults or repeated disrespect are involved. However, aggressive repartee also carries risks. It can be perceived as confrontational and hurtful, which can make the atmosphere of the conversation worse and even lead to escalations. Aggressive repartee can be effective, but should be used with caution, as it can quickly cause damage, both to others and to yourself. You can easily lose the sympathy of your listeners if you are too harsh or too direct. Examples. Attacker: you are really disorganized. Answer: if disorganization makes me as successful as it is now, I'm happy to stay that way. Humorous repartee. Humorous repartee, on the other hand, uses wit to defuse the situation while showing confidence. This form of repartee relies on charm and humor to take the tension out of the situation while providing a clever response. Humorous repartee can have a disarming effect and strengthen the speaker's position without humiliating the attacker. This form of repartee is often more personable and is received positively by those around you. However, it requires a good sense of timing and the right choice of words. When used correctly, humor can not only neutralize the original remark, but also relax the atmosphere and make both parties smile. Examples. Attacker: have you looked in the mirror today? Answer: yes. And you know what? I still look better than my bad days. The difference between these two forms lies primarily in the intention and effect. Aggressive quick-wittedness aims to maintain control and show strength, even at the expense of the relationship with the conversation partner. Humorous quick-wittedness, on the other hand, preserves the dignity of the other person and at the same time strengthens one's own position without endangering social cohesion. Both types of repartee have their place and can be effective in different situations. However, it is important to recognize when to use each type to achieve the desired effect. Humorous repartee is better suited to everyday, less serious situations, while aggressive repartee may be necessary in more serious conflicts or when dealing with disrespectful attacks. Quick-wittedness may seem like a purely linguistic skill at first glance, but there is a deeper psychological level behind this art. It involves various mental processes, including quick thinking skills, emotional control and social intelligence. To be quick-witted, we must not only be good at language, but also understand and skillfully navigate the dynamics between people. Those who are quick-witted demonstrate a high level of psychological awareness and flexibility. Fast cognitive processing. The ability to be quick-witted requires our brain to process information, make connections and generate appropriate responses in a short period of time. This process is based on our ability to analyze both verbal and non-verbal information at lightning speed. Several cognitive functions come into play here. Attention control. Quick-witted people are able to focus their attention and quickly recognize relevant cues in the environment. Associative thinking. Quick-wittedness is often based on drawing mental connections to previous experiences or humorous concepts and integrating them into an appropriate response. Language and expression. A spontaneous, quick-witted response requires our brain to quickly find appropriate words and phrases to communicate effectively. These cognitive skills develop through regular practice and by learning techniques that help us think and react faster. Emotional control. Another key aspect of quick-wittedness is the ability to remain calm in stressful or uncomfortable situations. Verbal attacks can trigger strong emotional reactions, such as anger, frustration, or fear. To respond quickly, we must be able to regulate these emotions so that they do not overwhelm us. People who are quick-witted often have a high level of emotional intelligence. They can quickly recognize and respond to their own emotions and those of others. This ability enables them to manage the situation better and not be guided by negative emotions. Instead, they remain in control and can act confidently and calmly. Examples of emotional control in quick-wittedness: delaying the reaction, instead of immediately countering. Quick-witted people often take a brief moment to calm their feelings and choose the best response. Detachment. Quick-witted people can emotionally detach themselves from the attacks and look at the situation more objectively. This allows them to give an appropriate and considered response without acting impulsively. Social intelligence. Quick-wittedness is not only based on quick reactions and emotional control, but also on social awareness. It is about understanding the dynamics between people and recognizing the mood and intentions of the other person. Quick-witted people know how to behave in different social situations in order not only to communicate effectively, but also to gain sympathy or defuse conflicts. The psychology of social intelligence includes empathy. Quick-wittedness requires the ability to put yourself in the other person's shoes and anticipate their emotional reactions. A quick-witted response is often designed so that it does not hurt the other person unnecessarily, but rather lightens the situation or continues the dialogue in a positive way. Context awareness. Quick-wittedness varies depending on the context. What works in a friendly conversation might be inappropriate in a professional situation. Quick-witted people are aware of the social environment and adapt their responses accordingly. Self-esteem and resilience. Quick-wittedness is also closely linked to one's own self-esteem and resilience. People with healthy self-esteem feel secure in their own skin and are not afraid of verbal confrontations. They can see criticism and attacks for what they are, opinions or snapshots, and do not let them unsettle them. This inner security forms the basis for quick-witted reactions. Resilience is the ability to get back up after setbacks or verbal attacks. Quick-wittedness requires the mental strength not to be discouraged by negative comments and instead to respond with dignity and confidence. This resilience can be learned and strengthened through practice, which in the long term leads to more self-confidence and increased quick-wittedness. The power of humor. Humor plays a central role in quick-wittedness. Humorous people often have the ability to defuse complex or tense situations and build bridges through laughter. Using humor requires psychological finesse. You have to know when a joke is appropriate and what kind of humor can lighten the situation without hurting the other person. Humor uses the principle of surprise and lightness to reduce tension and package a quick-witted response in a charming way. People with a good dose of humor are perceived as approachable and likable, which makes it easier for them to use their quick-wittedness in a positive way. Keep calm. The ability to remain calm is one of the most important foundations for quick-witted reactions. In stressful or challenging moments, many people react impulsively, be it through anger, frustration or nervousness. Quick-wittedness, on the other hand, requires calmness and control, qualities that enable you to act thoughtfully rather than being guided by emotions. Why is calmness so important? Calmness gives us the space to think clearly. When we are emotionally upset, our brain is in a fight or flight mode, which makes it difficult to find creative and intelligent answers. If you remain calm, you can better understand the situation, analyze the other person's words and respond to them in a targeted manner instead of blindly striking back. Techniques to maintain composure. Breathing techniques. Deep breaths help calm the nervous system. When you find yourself in a stressful situation, consciously try to breathe in and out deeply. This signals to the body that there is no immediate danger and calms the rising emotions. Create inner distance. Try to detach yourself emotionally from the situation. Imagine that you are observing what is happening from the perspective of an uninvolved third party. This distancing helps to regulate emotions and react more rationally. Positive self-talk. Remind yourself that you have control over your reaction. Phrases like "I have this under control" or "I'm staying calm and acting smart" can help you maintain inner peace. Posture. An upright, relaxed posture signals both externally and internally that you are confident and self-assured. This helps to strengthen inner composure. By maintaining composure, you create the mental space to be prepared for verbal attacks while remaining confident and quick-witted. Recognizing the right moment. Quick-wittedness depends on timing. Often it is not just the answer itself that is important, but also the right moment at which it is given. Reacting too early or too late can be ineffective. Recognizing the perfect moment requires mindfulness and practice. Why is timing so important? Choosing the right time to respond with a quick-witted answer can increase the impact and throw the other person off track. A well-timed answer can create surprise and help you take control of the conversation. Reacting too early often seems impulsive and can lack the necessary clarity, while responding too late gives the impression that you have been thinking about it because you were unsure. How do you recognize the right moment? Listening and observing. The key to timing is listening carefully. Listen carefully to what the other person is saying and pay attention to their body language. Sometimes body language gives subtle clues about when the ideal moment to respond quickly has arrived. A short pause after the other person's comment can often create space for a quick-witted response. Don't react too quickly. It's okay to take a moment before responding. A well-placed pause before your response can build tension and make your response all the more effective. Use this time to organize your thoughts and choose the best words. Assess the energy and dynamics of the conversation. In some situations, it is better to respond immediately, especially if the conversation is getting heated and there is a chance the subject will change. In other moments, it may make more sense to wait a second longer to maximize the impact of your response. The right timing depends a lot on the dynamics of the conversation. Stay alert and flexible. Tips for the right timing. Use short pauses consciously. A short pause of 1 to 2 seconds after a provocative statement can give your counterpart the feeling that you are thinking and considering. This increases tension and makes your answer seem more powerful. Use body language as a signal. By observing the other person's body language, you can often tell when he or she is at his or her most vulnerable. A downward glance, a smile, or a sign of uncertainty can indicate the perfect moment to respond. Take the lead with confidence. Sometimes being quick-witted means creating the moment yourself. When you feel the time is right, don't hesitate. Use your quick-witted response to steer the conversation in the direction you want. By recognizing the right moment and consciously using it, you give your quick wit more impact and presence. This requires patience and practice, but over time it becomes a natural ability. Recognizing the right moment. Being quick-witted depends not only on saying the right words, but also on saying them at the right time. Recognizing the right moment requires a good feel for the situation and the non-verbal signals of the person you are talking to. A wrongly timed comment can be just as ineffective as a wrong answer. That's why timing is crucial in being quick-witted. How do you recognize the right moment? Attention and presence. Be attentive and present in the conversation. Often, quick-witted moments arise from the context of a remark or a gesture. If you are in the moment and follow the flow of the conversation, you will find it easier to react spontaneously. Short pauses as a stylistic device. A short pause after a provocative or challenging remark can help make your quick-witted response more effective. This pause not only appears confident, but also gives you the time you need to formulate your answer. The short pause also signals that you are aware of the situation and are reacting carefully. Conscious awareness of the atmosphere. Every situation has its own dynamic. A conversation can be tense, friendly or challenging. By sensing the atmosphere, you can gauge how quickly or slowly you should respond. In a casual conversation, a quick, humorous remark may be appropriate. In a serious context, a well-placed, thoughtful response might be more effective. Pay attention to nonverbal signals. Pay attention to the body language of the person you're talking to. A brief moment of uncertainty, a smile, or even an eye roll can signal that the person you're talking to is receptive to a quick-witted remark. If someone seems nervous or hesitant, that can be the perfect moment to take the lead in the conversation with a quick-witted remark. Examples of the right moment. In a heated discussion, a short pause can create the ideal moment to deliver a quick-witted reply. This pause underlines your composure and gives your answer more weight. In a casual conversation, when your counterpart makes a witty comment, an immediate, quick-witted counter can generate laughter and positive attention. Recognizing the right moment means finding the balance between spontaneity and deliberation. Practice and experience will help you master this timing better and better. Body language and posture as a basis. Quick-wittedness is not just a verbal skill. Your body language and posture play an equally important role. The way you present yourself influences how your quick-witted responses are perceived. Even the cleverest remark can lose its impact if your body language signals insecurity or nervousness. Conversely, a confident, open posture can amplify your quick-witted remarks and underline your sovereignty. The importance of body language and posture. Upright posture. An upright, confident posture conveys strength and clarity. When standing or sitting, make sure your shoulders are straight and your head is held high. This posture signals that you are in control of the situation and will not be intimidated. Open gestures. Avoid crossing your arms in front of your chest or moving your hands nervously. Open gestures such as slightly outstretched arms or calm hands on the table signal openness and self-confidence. These gestures support your quick-wittedness by showing that you are comfortable and not afraid of the situation. Eye contact. Maintain eye contact with the person you are talking to. This signals confidence and shows that you are aware of the conversation and are not afraid to express your point of view. Firm but not rigid eye contact underlines your composure and supports your quick-witted reactions. Smile and facial expressions. A slight smile can work wonders, especially if you use humorous repartee. It shows that you are not taking the situation too seriously and that you are above provocation. Your facial expressions should be relaxed, as they underline your verbal sovereignty and give the other person the feeling that you are in control of your emotions. How does body language affect the impact of your quick-wittedness? Body language can make your quick-witted responses stronger or weaker. A confident posture makes your remarks more convincing and gives you more authority. However, if your body language signals nervousness or uncertainty, it can weaken the impact of your words and make your quick-witted remarks seem less convincing. Examples of effective body language. When you deliver a witty remark while standing upright and maintaining eye contact, your response appears much more decisive and convincing. A friendly smile combined with an open posture makes even a critical or sharp remark more pleasant and less aggressive. Conclusion. Quick-wittedness is a combination of the right words, the right timing and strong body language. If you learn to use your posture and body language in a targeted manner, you will increase the impact of your quick-witted answers and convey self-confidence and sovereignty. Your body language becomes the invisible support for your words and shows that you have the situation firmly under control. How to respond to unexpected comments. Unexpected comments can quickly throw us off track, especially if they are provocative, hurtful or confusing. The ability to respond to them spontaneously and confidently is the core of quick-wittedness. But how do you manage to find the right answer at the right moment? Keep calm when faced with an unexpected remark. The first thing that matters is to keep calm. An impulsive retort can lead to you lowering yourself to the attacker's level. Instead, take a moment to breathe and collect yourself. This short pause gives you time to think about your response and avoids letting your emotions get the better of you. Don't react immediately in many cases. You can allow yourself the luxury of pausing for a moment before answering. This delay appears more considered and gives you time to organize your thoughts. A well-placed, brief silence before your answer signals self-control and shows in a calm distraction or redirection. If you don't have a suitable answer ready right away, you can refute the unexpected remark by asking a counter question or using humorous diversion. This will buy you time and at the same time take the edge off the attack. Examples of this could be: counter question. Why exactly are you asking that? Humorous distraction. That's a question I didn't see coming. Use the context. Try to place the comment in the context of the conversation. This often provides an opportunity to respond with a comment that takes the context into account and refutes the comment with humor or charm. Respond confidently and calmly when you respond to an unexpected comment. Do so confidently, regardless of whether your response is humorous or serious. Your posture and body language should always signal strength and confidence. A quick-witted response gains power when it is delivered confidently and calmly. Techniques for quick thinking. Quick thinking is at the heart of quick-wittedness. The ability to react to unexpected comments or questions in a split second can be learned and trained. Here are some techniques to help you think faster and improve spontaneous reactions. Training associative thinking. One of the best techniques for thinking faster is training associative thinking. This involves making connections between different concepts, words and ideas. Here are some exercises. Word associations. Take any word and immediately think of the next word that comes to mind. Practice this regularly to improve the speed of your thought processes. Free speech. Practice responding to spontaneous questions or statements immediately, without thinking too much. Let your thoughts flow freely, even if the answers seem disorganized at first. Developing reaction patterns. Another technique that will help you react faster is to memorize certain reaction patterns. This means that you have ready-made responses for common situations or comments that you often hear. If you practice these often, It will be easier for you to react lightning fast in similar situations. Examples. When someone makes a provocative remark. Interesting. I've never heard that before. When someone asks you about something you don't want to answer. That's a good question. I think we should talk about it sometime. Use humor as a means of reaction. Humor is one of the most effective techniques for responding quickly to comments. A well-placed joke or humorous remark can reduce tension while emphasizing your confidence. To practice this, jokes on demand. Practice applying jokes or humorous remarks to everyday situations. The key is to look at your surroundings and the remarks of others with a humorous eye. Practice quick-witted sentences. Have a collection of humorous but respectful comebacks ready that you can use quickly. Examples of humorous answers. That's a new perspective. I'm not sure whether to laugh or cry. That sounds like a plan. Let's see if reality plays along. Synchronize your body and mind. Quick thinking is supported by a clear and alert mind. That's why it's important to regularly practice mental clarity techniques. These include meditation and mindfulness. These practices help to sharpen the mind while remaining calm. With a calm and clear head, it is easier to react quickly and precisely. Physical exercise. Regular exercise, be it sport or even simple stretching, promotes mental clarity and responsiveness. Practice improvisation. One of the best ways to practice quick thinking is improvisation. You can practice this through spontaneous role-playing or exercises such as question and answer games. Sit down with a partner and ask each other unexpected questions or comments that you must respond to immediately. The goal is to respond quickly and without hesitation. Training your quick-wittedness exercises for everyday life. Quick-wittedness is a skill that can be developed through regular training and targeted exercises. The more often you practice, the faster your reactions will be and the more confident you will be in dealing with unexpected comments. Here are some practical exercises to help you train your quick-wittedness in everyday life. Question and answer games. One of the best ways to practice quick-wittedness is to practice through quick question and answer games. This technique simulates everyday situations in which you have to react spontaneously. Exercise. Ask a friend or colleague to ask you unexpected questions or provocative remarks that you must respond to immediately. There shouldn't be much thought process involved. You should respond intuitively. Gradually, the questions can become more challenging to sharpen your ability to respond. Example. Question. Why are you so tired today? Possible answer. I saved my energy for this answer. This exercise can be done in a relaxed environment and will help you organize your thoughts more quickly and get to the point. Role-playing games. Role-playing games are an excellent way to simulate typical everyday situations that require quick-wittedness. Exercise. Take an everyday situation. For example, a discussion at work or an argument with an acquaintance, and act it out with a partner. One of you takes on the role of the attacker who makes unexpected or provocative comments. The other practices reacting quickly and wittily. Example. Attacker. You did that totally wrong. Quick-witted reply. I knew I could count on you to point that out to me. Regularly practicing such scenarios will help you to react more confidently and quickly in real situations. Exercise. Reinterpreting everyday situations. A simple but powerful exercise is to reinterpret everyday remarks or conversations after the fact and think of possible quick-witted responses. This will help you develop a repertoire of possible responses that you can use in future situations. Exercise. Think of an everyday situation in which you did not react quickly and then think about how you could have done so. Example. Situation. Someone says to you, "You are quiet today." Possible quick-witted answer. "I'm just going to give the words a break today. They deserve it." This exercise trains your ability to respond quickly and creatively to comments and gives you ideas for future situations. Word associations. Word association training is an effective way to make your brain think faster and make connections between ideas and words. Exercise. Start with a simple word and try to find as many associations as possible in a short period of time. This can be practiced with a partner or alone. The more connections you make, the faster your thought processes will become and the better your ability to respond quickly will be. Example. Starting word. Light. Associations. Light bulb. Sun. Enlightenment. Shadow. Power failure. This exercise sharpens your ability to find spontaneous creative connections and promotes quick thinking. Practice humorous counterattacks. Humor is a powerful ally in quick-wittedness. Humorous comebacks lighten the mood and make you appear confident, even in challenging situations. Exercise. Practice coming up with humorous responses to everyday situations. Ask friends or colleagues to make harmless provocations or comments to you and respond humorously and charmingly. Example. Comment. "You're late." Humorous answer. "I thought I was making a fashionable appearance." This exercise will help you to use humor as a resource for quick-witted reactions while appearing likable and confident. Practicing thought stopping. Often, negative thoughts or self-doubt prevent us from reacting quickly. One technique to overcome this is thought stopping, where you consciously distance yourself from negative thoughts. Exercise. If you notice that you are getting lost in negative thoughts about a situation or possible mistakes, tell yourself stop, then consciously focus on a positive or neutral reaction. Example. Thought. "I'm sure I'm going to say something wrong." Thought stop. Stop. I am calm and can react confidently to everything. This technique will help you to become more self-confident and not let self-doubt get in the way when quick-witted thinking is required. Meditation and mindfulness. A clear and calm mindset is the basis for quick and effective reactions. Meditation and mindfulness exercises can help calm the mind and increase concentration. Exercise. To improve your mental clarity, practice short meditations or mindfulness exercises daily. This will help you stay calm and organize your thoughts during stressful moments. This exercise strengthens your inner calmness and makes it easier for you to react quickly and confidently even in challenging situations. How humor strengthens your quick-witness. How humor strengthens your quick-witness. Humor is a powerful tool in quick-wittedness. It has the ability to release tension, defuse conflicts, and at the same time win the sympathy of the listener. Humor not only helps you to appear confident, but also shows that you are above things and in control of the situation. Humor can make even challenging remarks lose their sharp sting and transform them into a moment of lightness. Why is humor so effective in quick-wittedness? Disarming effect. Humor can defuse a potential conflict before it even arises. Instead of reacting aggressively to a verbal attack, you can neutralize the situation and even lighten the mood with a humorous response. Sympathy and charm. A humorous remark is often perceived as charming and sympathetic. People who can make a joke in difficult situations radiate calmness and appear friendlier and more approachable to those around them. Confidence and poise. Humor shows that you are not intimidated by negative comments or challenges. Instead, you take things in your stride and stay in control of the conversation. This demonstrates confidence and strength. Build bridges instead of erecting walls. Humor can help build bridges between conversation partners. Instead of rejecting someone with a sharp answer, you can use humor to bring the conversation back to a friendly, relaxed level. Often a well-placed joke will make both sides laugh and the situation will be relaxed. Examples of humorous counters. Examples of how humor strengthens quick-wittedness. In a stressful meeting, boss, have you still not done that answer? I'm working on it. I wanted to make sure it was perfect. In response to an insulting comment, someone says, "You don't seem to be paying attention today." Reply, "That's right. My brain has taken the day off. But don't worry, I'm still here." Using humor allows you to defend yourself charmingly while maintaining control of the conversation. This strengthens your quick-wittedness by not only reacting but also influencing the mood in the room. Examples of humorous counters. Humorous comebacks are the heart of charming repartee. They require creativity, spontaneity and a sense of timing. Here are some examples of how you can use humorous comebacks in different situations. On a personal attack. Attacker, have you gained weight? Humorous answer, yes. I wanted to have a little more of myself to offer. To an unexpected criticism. Attacker, that's a really stupid idea. Humorous answer, I don't like her either, but she just wouldn't let me go. To a sarcastic comment. Attacker, well, particularly motivated again today, aren't you? Humorous answer, motivation and I are arguing today, but I'm working on it. On a provocative remark. Attacker, you are always so unpunctual. Humorous answer, I believe in the philosophy that it is better to arrive late and happy than to arrive on time and stressed. On a cheeky remark. Attacker, your outfit is brave today. Humorous answer, yes. He wanted to try something. How could I say no to him? In response to a question about your age. Attacker, how old are you anyway? Humorous answer, old enough to have made most mistakes twice. On a derogatory remark about your work. Attacker, that doesn't look very professional. Humorous answer, I wanted to try the natural look. In response to a comment about your tiredness. Attacker, you look tired. Humorous answer, that's the latest trend. Tired is the new fit. In response to an accusation of having done something wrong. Attacker, you did that completely wrong. Humorous answer, that's what I call creative chaos. In response to a sarcastic question about your competence. Attacker, are you sure you can do that? Humorous answer, absolutely sure unless you have other information. Tips for using humorous counters. Keep it casual. Humorous comebacks work best when they are delivered in a light, relaxed manner. Avoid coming across as too serious or tense. This could undermine the humor in your response. Use sarcasm wisely. A little sarcasm can help lighten the mood, but use it sparingly and make sure your comments don't come across as hurtful. Be creative. Let your creativity run wild. Often the best humorous comebacks are those that are unexpected and original. The more unusual your response, the greater the impact. Timing is everything. Humor works best when it comes at the right time. Pause for a moment before placing the joke. This will give your response more impact and can create a greater surprise. Wit and charm. The right tone. Humor is undoubtedly important in quick-wittedness, but the right tone is just as crucial to ensure that your quick-witted remarks come across as charming rather than hurtful. It's all in the tone. A humorous response can be received positively if it is delivered with charm and a certain tact. Wit and charm are the two ingredients that refine your quick-wittedness and ensure that your responses come across as not only clever but also personable. The right tone. What does it mean? The right tone in quick-wittedness means finding the balance between humor and respect. Your answers should be clever and witty, but should never cross the boundaries of politeness. The goal is to shine with your wit without insulting or hurting the other person. The elements of the right tone. Friendliness and respect. Even if you counter, you should make your comments in a friendly and respectful manner. This will keep the atmosphere positive and avoid unnecessary tension. Lightness. Quick-witted responses that seem light and playful are better received. If you deliver your joke too seriously, it may be misunderstood. A smile or a wink can often lighten the tone of your response and show that you are taking the situation with humor. Self-irony. If you are able to laugh at yourself, you will appear more likable and approachable. Self-ironic remarks not only lighten the situation, but also show that you do not take everything too seriously and are above it all. Humor with charm. How do you use it effectively? Charming humor is characterized by the fact that it is not only intelligent and quick-witted, but also brings a smile to the faces of those present. Here are some tips on how you can combine humor and charm to make your quick-wittedness positive and entertaining. Charm through body language. Your body language plays a big role in how your joke is received. An open, relaxed posture, a friendly smile and eye contact show that your comment is not meant to be hurtful. If your body language is positive and inviting, your joke is more likely to be perceived as charming. Example. Comment. You are optimistic if you think this will work. Answer. With a smile. Optimism is my middle name. Who needs reality? Friendly voice and laughter. The tone of your voice is just as important. Speak calmly, in a friendly and relaxed voice. Laugh at your own jokes. This shows that you have a sense of humor and are confident. A genuine, friendly laugh can even put critical comments into a friendly context. Example. Comment. You're talking a lot today. Answer. With laughter. I just wanted to make sure no one fell asleep here. Confidence with ease. Confidence is the key to any quick-witted answer, but it must always be combined with ease. If you appear confident without appearing arrogant, you will win the conversation without dominating the other person. Example. Comment. Do you really think you can do this? Answer. With confidence and a smile. Of course. I have mastered more difficult challenges, like making the perfect coffee in the morning. Examples of charming wit and quick-wittedness. Here are some examples of how you can respond to comments in a charming and humorous way without appearing rude or hurtful. On a cheeky remark about your appearance. Comment. Your hair looks a little wild today. Charming answer. Yes. I wanted to feel the wind in my hair today. In the office. On a sarcastic comment about your abilities. Comment. This looks like real expert work. Charming answer. Exactly. I have the license to improvise. In response to a comment about your behavior. Comment. You are always so calm. Charming answer. I prefer to listen. That's how you learn the best secrets. To a provocative question. Comment. Did you do anything useful today? Charming answer. Only if you consider marveling at my laziness to be useful. The line between joke and insult. It is important not to cross the fine line between charming wit and potentially offensive humor. Humor in repartee should never be aimed at embarrassing or ridiculing anyone. Make sure your joke does not hurt or upset the other person. Tips to keep the balance. The aim is to be light-hearted, not aggressive. Your quick-witted response should lighten the situation, not make it worse. If you notice that your counterpart might react sensitively to a comment, choose a lighter, friendlier form of humor. Avoid personal attacks. Jokes at the expense of someone's appearance, skills, or character can easily be misconstrued. Instead, focus on general or situational issues. Self-irony as a shield. If you are unsure how your joke will be received, use self-ironic remarks. They show that you are humorous and humble, while also being able to laugh at yourself. Quick-wittedness at work. Quick-wittedness is an art that is not only required in heated debates or unexpected confrontations, but also in everyday situations, be it at work, in the family or among friends. In this chapter, you will learn how you can use quick-wittedness in a targeted manner in order to remain confident, charming and assertive both in your professional life and in your private life. Quick-wittedness at work. In our professional lives, we often encounter situations in which we have to assert ourselves quickly and cleverly, whether in meetings, negotiations or informal conversations with colleagues. Quick-wittedness can help you strengthen your position without appearing aggressive or rude. Meetings and discussions. In meetings and discussions, it can happen that someone questions your opinion or tries to ignore you. This is where quick-wittedness is required to make your position clear without going beyond the professional framework. Example: colleague, that sounds like a pretty vague idea. Have you even thought it through? Quick-witted answer: vague ideas are the beginning of great innovations. Let's turn them into something concrete together. With this answer, you show that you are not unsettled, but remain open and cooperative. Being quick-witted at work means finding a balance between clarity and diplomacy. Criticism from superiors. When superiors express criticism, it is important to remain calm and at the same time show that you are open to suggestions for improvement without letting yourself be discouraged. Example: manager, that really wasn't your best project. Quick-witted answer: that's right. I see it as a practice round for what's coming next. It's going to be great. Here you openly admit that there is room for improvement, but keep a positive outlook. Quick-wittedness helps you accept criticism without losing your own dignity. Competition among colleagues. There is often subtle competition among colleagues, which can be expressed in sharp remarks or little digs. This is where quick-wittedness can help you to remain confident and calm. Example: colleague, you always seem to have luck when it comes to the big projects. Quick-witted answer: yes, it seems that luck always finds its way to hard work. This answer leaves no room for further teasing and shows that you perceive your successes with ease and confidence. Assertiveness in the family and among friends. Even in private life, whether in the family or among friends, there are often moments when quick-wittedness is required. This can help you assert yourself in discussions without increasing conflicts or putting a strain on relationships. Assertiveness in the family. In family discussions, opinions can often differ greatly and sometimes heated debates arise. Quick-wittedness helps you make your position clear without disturbing the harmony. Example: family member, you never know what you want. Quick-witted answer: I think that makes me exciting. Always good for a surprise. By being humorous and quick-witted, you show that you will not be provoked, but are still willing to defend your opinion. 2. Dealing with criticism from relatives, family members sometimes tend to openly criticize, which can catch us off guard. With a quick-witted response, you can defuse the criticism without provoking an argument. Example: family member, you really should exercise more. Quick-witted answer: I've thought about that too, but first I wanted to make sure that there was a future for me in my lazy lifestyle. Here you rely on self-irony to defuse the situation and avoid getting into a justification loop. Assertiveness in discussions: often discussions arise where the issue is who has the last word or who gets their way. Quick-wittedness can help you to make yourself heard in these moments in a charming but firm way. Example: discussion participant, you always talk too much. Let someone else do it. Quick-witted answer: that's right. I'm full of ideas. Who doesn't want to hear more about them? This answer shows confidence and makes it clear that you are expressing your opinion without aggressively taking over the conversation. Circle of friends. Humor as a bridge in circle of friends. Teasing remarks or joking taunts often arise. Here, quick-wittedness, coupled with humor, can ensure that the situation remains relaxed and harmonious. Example: friend, you're wearing the coolest shoes again. Where do you get the courage from? Quick-witted answer: the secret is in the footwear. With such cool shoes, courage simply comes to you. Humorous repartee is particularly effective among friends, as it maintains the lightness of the conversation while at the same time underlining your self-confidence. How to stay confident in critical moments. Critical moments in life often challenge us, whether it's unexpected confrontations, uncomfortable situations, or conflicts that threaten to spiral out of control. In these moments, it's crucial to remain confident. That means keeping calm, thinking clearly, and maintaining control of the situation. Quick-wittedness plays a key role in this, as it allows you to act confidently through smart and well-considered reactions without losing control or overreacting emotionally. Maintaining inner peace. The foundation of sovereignty in critical moments is inner calm. If you are able to control your emotions and not allow yourself to be overwhelmed by anger, fear, or nervousness, you can make wiser decisions and react more thoughtfully. Techniques to keep calm. Breath control. Deep, slow breathing helps calm the nervous system and collect thoughts. At critical moments, take a moment to breathe consciously. This will give you the time you need to regulate your emotions and keep a clear head. Thought stopping. When negative thoughts or panic arise, tell yourself stop. This breaks the negative thought cycle and gives you the opportunity to focus on a productive, confident response. Visualization. Imagine yourself reacting to the situation calmly and confidently. This mental preparation can help you maintain your composure and act better. Concentration on the essentials. In critical moments, there is a risk of getting lost in details or distracted by emotions. To remain confident, it is important to focus on the essentials. What is the real problem? What does the other person want to achieve? What is your main message? Tips for focusing. Keep your goals in mind. Focus on what you want to achieve in the situation. If you have your goal clearly in mind, it will be easier for you to block out unnecessary distractions and control your reactions in a targeted manner. Avoid distractions. Don't let trivial matters distract you. Oftentimes, others will try to distract you from the real discussion with provocative remarks or personal attacks. Stick to the facts and your point of view. Example: attacker, you never know what you're talking about. Confident answer: this is not about me personally. but about solving the issue correctly. By focusing attention on what is important, you stay in control of the situation and do not allow yourself to be distracted by emotional taunts. Radiate self-confidence. Sovereignty requires self-confidence. In critical moments, you must show that you stand firmly behind your convictions and do not allow yourself to be unsettled. Self-confidence is shown in your posture, your voice and your words. Confident body language. Upright posture. A straight posture signals strength and self-confidence. Hold your head up. Keep your shoulders relaxed and maintain an open posture. This makes you appear confident and in control. Eye contact. Maintain eye contact with your conversation partner without appearing rigid. A firm, friendly look conveys security and makes you seem self-confident. Calm, clear voice. Avoid speaking hectically or loudly in critical moments. A calm, firm voice appears confident and gives you control over the conversation. Clever reactions with quick-wittedness. Quick-wittedness is a powerful tool for appearing confident in critical moments. With a clever, well-thought-out answer, you can not only set the tone of the conversation, but also strengthen your position without appearing aggressive. Quick-wittedness gives you the ability to respond calmly and intelligently to challenges. Examples of quick-witted and confident answers. In a heated discussion. Comment: "You don't understand what we're talking about here." Confident answer: "That may be so, but perhaps we can bring the perspectives together to come to a solution." On a personal insult. Comment: "That's typical of you." Confident answer: "Possibly, but let's still stay constructive and address the problem." These answers show that you are ready to deal with the situation without losing control or allowing yourself to be provoked. Avoid escalation. In critical moments, there is a risk that conversations or discussions will escalate. It is important not to get involved in this escalation, but to remain calm and clear. By de-escalating, you retain control of the situation. Strategies for de-escalation. Stay calm and ask questions. Ask questions to calm the other person down and focus on the matter at hand. For example, "What exactly do you mean by that?" or "Can we pause for a moment and clarify what is important to both of us?" Use humor. A well-placed humorous comment can take the tension out of the situation and bring the conversation back to a lighter level. For example, "We're both passionate about this. How about we use the energy to solve the problem?" Setting boundaries. Sovereignty also means setting clear boundaries. If someone crosses a line, you should make this clear in a polite but firm manner. This shows that you are not prepared to be treated disrespectfully. Example. Comment: "You never listen." Confident answer: "I am open to a constructive discussion, but personal attacks will not get us anywhere." By politely and firmly setting your boundaries, you stay in control and ensure that the conversation remains on a respectful level. Dealing with verbal attacks. Verbal attacks are unpleasant but common challenges in everyday life. They can take the form of insults, derogatory comments or unfair remarks. Dealing with such attacks requires confidence in a calm and a skillful response. In this chapter, you will learn how to respond quickly to insults and how to deal with unfair comments without losing your dignity. How to respond to insults. How to respond to insults. Insults are designed to upset you and undermine your confidence. But with the right response, you can turn things around and show that you won't let yourself be provoked. Stay calm. The most important response to an insult is to remain calm. Insults are often based on the hope of provoking an emotional response. However, if you remain calm, they lose their power. Techniques to stay calm. Take a deep breath. Take a moment to breathe and organize your thoughts. This brief pause will help you formulate a smart response instead of reacting impulsively. Smile. A slight smile shows that you do not take the insult seriously and are above the situation. It signals self-confidence and makes you appear confident. Example of serenity. Attacker. You are really incompetent. Calm answer. With a smile. Thank you for your feedback. I am always working on getting better. This response shows that you do not stoop to the attacker's level and instead remain calm and confident. Let the attack come to nothing. An effective way to deal with insults is to let the attack fall flat. Instead of taking the insult seriously, you can defuse it in a playful or ironic way. Techniques to thwart attacks. Use self-irony. If you are able to laugh at yourself, you disarm the attacker and take the edge off the insult. Humorous responses. Humor is a powerful weapon against insults. A witty, quick-witted response shows that you are above things and not unsettled. Examples of humorous reactions. Attacker. You're not very smart, are you? Humorous answer. I know. I didn't mean to make the others feel bad. Attacker. You are really bad at your job. Humorous answer. I feel like I get better every time I hear that. These responses make light of the insult and show that you are not fazed. Ignore and move on. Sometimes the best reaction is to simply ignore an insult. By not playing along with the attacker's game, you signal that his words have no influence on you. This strategy is especially effective if you want to remain in a professional environment. Example. Attacker. You have absolutely no idea what you are talking about. Reaction. Ignore the comment and continue the conversation on a factual level. How about we focus on the actual question again? Ignorance shows that you are indifferent to the insult and that you remain in control of the conversation. How to deal with unfair comments. Unfair comments are often more subtle than direct insults, but can be just as hurtful. They aim to belittle you or put you in a bad light without appearing obviously offensive. Questioning the intention. Unfair comments are often based on hidden intentions. A good way to deal with such comments is to openly question the speaker's intention. This forces the attacker to justify their words and can throw them off track. Example. Attacker. You're not that good with details, are you? Reaction. What exactly do you mean by that? Can you please explain in more detail? By reacting in this way, you ask the attacker to clarify his statement and make it clear that you will not allow yourself to be belittled. Getting to the point. If an unfair comment is made that questions your competence or personality, you can counter with a clear, confident response. This shows that you are aware of the situation and are not letting it unsettle you. Examples of clear, factual answers. Attacker. I'm not sure if that's your area of expertise. Reaction. Actually, that's exactly my area of expertise. So let's dig deeper. Attacker. That was really a weak performance. Reaction. I see it differently. Let's talk about concrete suggestions for improvement. By remaining objective and focusing on the facts, you show that you are not fazed by subtle attacks. Setting boundaries. Unfair comments do not always have to be tolerated. In some cases, it is appropriate to set clear boundaries and signal to the attacker that his behavior is unacceptable. Example. Attacker. That's typical of you. Always doing everything wrong. Reaction. I am happy to engage in a constructive conversation, but personal attacks are not part of it for me. This response shows that you expect respectful communication and are not willing to silently agree with unfair comments. Conclusion. Dealing with insults and unfair comments requires self-control, wisdom and sometimes a pinch of humor. Whether you decide to stay calm, let the attack fall flat or set clear boundaries, the key is to maintain your dignity and not sink to the level of the attacker. By responding quickly and confidently, you show that you are in control and are not unsettled by negative words. De-escalating conflicts. Quick-wittedness as a means of peacemaking. Quick-wittedness is often associated with quick, clever reactions, but it can also be a powerful tool for de-escalating conflicts. Instead of resorting to confrontation, you can use quick-wittedness to reduce tension, clarify misunderstandings, and bring dialogue to a positive level. In this chapter, you will learn how you can use quick-wittedness to defuse conflicts and act as a peacemaker. Lighten the conflict with humor. Humor is one of the most effective ways to defuse a conflict. A well-placed, humorous comment can take the tension out of the situation and calm people down. It is important that humor is used respectfully and tactfully. It should lighten the situation without hurting or ridiculing the other person. Examples of humorous de-escalation. In a heated discussion situation, you don't understand what this is about. Humorous answer. This happens to me a lot. Maybe we should use a translator app. In a personal criticism situation, you're never on time. Humorous answer. I like to bring a little excitement into the day. You never know when I'll show up. By giving humorous answers, you can take the edge off the situation and bring the conversation back to a more relaxed level. This opens up space for a more constructive dialogue. Show empathy and signal understanding. Conflicts often arise from misunderstandings or the feeling of not being heard or understood. Quick-wittedness can also be used as a means of showing the other person that you understand their perspective and are willing to work together to find a solution. Techniques to show empathy. Ask insightful questions. Questions like what exactly bothers you about the situation or how can we improve this together show that you are willing to resolve the conflict rather than fuel it further. Acknowledge feelings. Sentences like I understand that you are upset or I see that this annoys you signal empathy and often take away the emotionally charged atmosphere of the conflict. Example of an empathetic reaction. Situation. You never take me seriously. Empathic response. I'm sorry if it comes across that way. I really want to make sure we're both on the same page. Through such empathetic responses, you signal that you do not want to escalate the conflict, but rather contribute to a constructive solution. Constructive quick-wittedness. Focus on solutions. An important aspect of de-escalation through quick-wittedness is to move the conversation away from the conflict level and towards a solution-oriented level. Instead of reacting to accusations or criticism, you can use your quick-witted response to focus on a positive solution. Techniques for solution-oriented repartee. Make counter-proposals. Instead of escalating the conflict, you can suggest working together to find a solution. For example, how do you think we could do this differently? Use positive language. Formulate your answers in a way that moves the conversation forward rather than driving it further into conflict. Avoid negative or derogatory language. Example of a constructive answer. Situation. Everything is going wrong because of you. Constructive answer. I see it differently. but I am open to finding a way to make it better together. By focusing on solutions rather than addressing the accusations, you show that progress is more important to you than continuing the argument. De-dramatize the situation. Sometimes it can be helpful to de-dramatize a situation and put things into perspective. Quick-witted remarks that put the seriousness of the conflict into perspective can help both parties to relax and calm things down. Techniques for de-dramatization. Addressing and relativizing exaggerations. If your counterpart overreacts, you can put it into perspective in a humorous or charming way. Example: that was the worst mistake ever. I didn't know I could be so dramatic. Putting the meaning into perspective. You can use humor to make the conflict seem less important, to take the emotional aspect out of it. For example, it's just a small stumbling block, not the end of the world. Examples of de-dramatizing answers. Situation: this is simply catastrophic. De-dramatizing answer: well, let's say it's a bit of a challenge. By de-dramatizing, you give your counterpart the opportunity to continue the conversation on a more relaxed level, expressing recognition and appreciation. A simple but often overlooked way to de-escalate a conflict is to show appreciation to the other person. Oftentimes, people feel overlooked or disrespected in conflict. A quick-witted remark that expresses appreciation can work wonders to reduce tension. Appreciation techniques. Express praise and thanks. Show the other person that you appreciate their efforts or perspective. Example: I really appreciate your openness on this matter. Highlight positive aspects. Focus on the positive aspects of the conversation and draw attention to them. For example, I know you want the best for both of us, and I really appreciate that. Examples of appreciative reactions. Situation: you just don't understand what this is about. Appreciative response: maybe not right away, but I really appreciate you taking the time to explain it to me. By expressing appreciation, you create a positive foundation on which the conversation can continue and take the pressure off the argument. Quick-wittedness as a bridge to peace. Quick-wittedness does not always have to be used to counterattack or deliver the final blow. It can also serve as a bridge to de-escalation and peacemaking. If you combine your quick-witted responses with empathy, humor and appreciation, you can not only defuse conflicts, but also create an atmosphere in which both sides can communicate openly with each other again. Summary: humor and lightness can reduce tension and bring the conflict to a relaxed level. Empathy shows that you take the other person's concerns seriously and are willing to work together to find solutions. Constructive quick-wittedness focuses on positive results and away from accusations and criticism. De-dramatization and appreciation help to put the conflict into perspective and defuse it. How quick-wittedness boosts your self-confidence. Quick-wittedness and self-confidence are closely linked. When you respond quickly, you not only exude confidence, but also gain self-confidence at the same time. By regularly practicing and using quick-wittedness, you develop a stronger self-confidence that benefits you in all areas of life. In this chapter, you will learn how quick-wittedness strengthens your self-confidence and which mental techniques you can use to motivate yourself and further develop your quick-wittedness. How quick-wittedness boosts your self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from the feeling of being able to successfully overcome challenges. Quick-wittedness contributes to this feeling because it gives you the ability to react quickly and confidently in difficult situations. With every successful quick-witted answer, Your confidence in your own competence and the certainty of being able to act confidently in the future grows. Sovereignty through control. Quick-wittedness gives you the feeling of being in control of a conversation or situation. Instead of reacting passively to attacks or critical remarks, you take the active role by countering cleverly and skillfully. This control gives you a strong feeling of sovereignty and self-confidence. Example: attacker: "You're really bad at that." Quick-witted answer: "It may seem that way. I call it creative learning." By reacting in this way, you will stay in control and show that you are not unsettled by negative comments. Over time, this experience will build your self-confidence because you will learn that you are capable of asserting yourself in any situation. Positive feedback loop. When you respond quickly on a regular basis, a positive feedback loop is created. You experience repeated successes that boost your self-confidence, and this boosted self-confidence in turn makes it easier for you to respond quickly in the future. It is a cycle in which your skills and self-esteem constantly grow. Personal authenticity. Being quick-witted requires authenticity. When you learn to respond to situations spontaneously and honestly, you feel more comfortable in your own skin. This authenticity has a direct impact on your self-confidence because you learn to express your own opinions and feelings without hiding or appearing insecure. Example: attacker: "You often talk nonsense." Quick-witted answer: "That's because I think in complex thoughts." Such a reaction not only shows quick-wittedness, but also that you are aware of yourself and do not bend over backwards. Mental techniques for self-motivation. Quick-wittedness and self-confidence go hand in hand, but both must be nurtured and developed. Mental techniques help you to strengthen your self-confidence and motivate yourself to remain quick-witted and confident even in difficult situations. Positive self-talk. Positive self-talk is a powerful way to boost your confidence and prepare for difficult situations. By giving yourself encouraging and constructive messages, you mentally prepare yourself to respond confidently. Technology. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Instead of thinking, "I'm sure I'll say something wrong," tell yourself, "I'm smart and can respond confidently to anything." Repeat affirmations daily such as, "I am strong and self-confident," "I can handle any situation," or "I always find the right words." This technique strengthens your self-confidence and makes you more resistant to negative thoughts. Visualization. Visualization is a mental technique where you imagine yourself reacting successfully and confidently. This technique helps you prepare your subconscious mind to act similarly in real situations. Technology. Take a few minutes every day to imagine how you would react quickly and confidently in a difficult situation. Visualize the scene vividly. The room, the people you are talking to and your reactions. Visualize yourself giving a clever, charming response while feeling strong and confident. This exercise trains your brain to react with similar confidence and quick-wittedness in real-life situations. Celebrate small successes. An essential part of self-motivation is to consciously celebrate small successes. Every successful, quick-witted moment is a reason to be proud of yourself and to boost your self-confidence. Technology. Keep a success diary in which you write down every successful, quick-witted moment. Consciously recording your successes reminds you how often you have reacted confidently and quickly. Reward yourself for these successes, be it through a small token of appreciation or simply a moment of self-reflection in which you congratulate yourself. This method motivates you to continue to act quickly and strengthens your self-confidence in the long term. Resilience through setbacks. It's inevitable that not every quick-witted response will be perfect. Setbacks are part of life, but how you deal with them will have a huge impact on your confidence. Technology. Accept setbacks as learning moments. Think, every challenge makes me stronger. Instead of criticizing yourself, ask yourself what you can learn from the situation. This resilience technique will help you stay motivated and maintain your self-confidence despite setbacks. Mental preparation for difficult situations. Prepare yourself mentally for potentially challenging situations by thinking of alternative, quick-witted answers. This mental preparation gives you security and makes it easier for you to react confidently. Technology. Run through possible scenarios in your head in which you will have to react quickly. Think in advance of some clever responses to possible provocations. This mental exercise will boost your self-confidence because you know you are prepared for different situations. How to build your inner strength through practice. Inner strength is the foundation on which quick-wittedness and self-confidence rest. It enables you to remain calm, clear and confident in stressful or challenging situations. This strength does not come by itself. It is built up through continuous practice and conscious self-development. In this section, you will learn how you can develop your inner strength through targeted exercises and techniques so that you appear confident and resilient in every situation. Regular practice. The basis of inner strength. Like any other skill, inner strength needs to be trained to develop and strengthen it. Regular practice in situations that challenge your quick-wittedness and self-confidence is crucial to building stable inner strength over the long term. Technology. Daily challenge. Set yourself the goal of consciously paying attention to situations every day in which you can practice your quick-wittedness and inner strength. This could be a discussion at work, a spontaneous conversation with a stranger, or a small argument in everyday life. With each exercise you will become more confident. Reflection. At the end of the day, take time to reflect on how you performed in these situations. Did you maintain your inner strength? How could you react more confidently in the future? This reflection will help you to recognize your progress and further develop your skills. Example: make a point every day to respond confidently and wittily in a situation where you would normally hold back. It could be as simple as saying no when you would otherwise hesitate, or giving a humorous response to an unexpected remark. Confident posture. Conveying inner strength to the outside world. Your posture plays a significant role in how you feel and how others perceive you. A confident posture can not only enhance your outward appearance, but also promote your inner strength. By paying attention to your posture, you can increase your self-confidence while developing a sense of inner calm and control. Technology. Power poses. Practice so-called power poses every day. These are postures that express strength and self-confidence, such as standing upright, pulling your shoulders back and holding your head straight. Studies show that these postures not only signal self-confidence on the outside, but also strengthen inner self-confidence. Conscious breathing. Make sure to breathe deeply and calmly. Conscious breathing helps calm the nerves and clear the mind, leading to greater inner strength. Example: before you start a difficult conversation or enter a stressful situation, take a moment to check your posture and breathe deeply. Imagine that you are radiating the inner strength you want to feel. Setting boundaries. Protecting your inner strength. Inner strength is also built by learning to set clear boundaries. By showing others where your personal boundaries lie, you not only strengthen your position in social interactions, but also protect your self-esteem and energy. Technology. Confident communication. Practice communicating your boundaries in a friendly but firm way in everyday situations. This might mean saying no when something makes you uncomfortable or making it clear that you will not tolerate certain behaviors. Reflect on your limits. Be aware of the areas in which you often give in or feel uncomfortable. Work specifically on becoming more steadfast in these areas and defending your inner strength. Example: if you find that you say yes too often when you really mean no, resolve to set your boundaries more clearly in small steps. Start with simple things, such as not taking on additional tasks that would overburden you. Mental resilience through resilience training. Inner strength is closely linked to resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks. Mental resilience can be trained through targeted exercises that help you stay strong and balanced even in difficult moments. Technology. Practice acceptance. Accept that setbacks and mistakes are part of the growth process. Instead of criticizing yourself, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Positive self-talk. Boost your inner strength by focusing on your strengths and giving yourself encouraging messages. Phrases like "I can handle any challenge" or "setbacks only make me stronger" support your mental growth. Example: when you experience a difficult situation, consciously reflect on the lessons you can learn from it. Instead of focusing on the negative, direct your thoughts to how the experience has helped you move forward. Mindfulness and meditation to strengthen inner peace. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools to increase inner peace and clarity. Through regular meditation, you learn to calm your thoughts and activate your inner strength, even when external circumstances are stressful or challenging. Technology. Daily meditation. Take 5-10 minutes a day to meditate. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Let go of all thoughts and allow yourself to simply be in the moment. This practice will help you to stay calm in difficult situations and activate your inner strength. Mindfulness exercises in everyday life. Integrate mindfulness exercises into your daily routine by consciously focusing on simple activities such as walking, eating or breathing. This will help you stay present in the here and now and strengthen your inner strength. Example: when you feel stressed, stop for a moment and consciously breathe in and out deeply. Imagine that with each breath more calm and strength flows into your body. Quick-wittedness in relationships. Quick-wittedness can be both a blessing and a challenge in relationships. In a partnership, the way we respond to one another is crucial to harmony and mutual understanding. Quick-wittedness can help defuse tension and make the conversation humorous and lively. At the same time, however, it requires tact to ensure that the humor or quick-witted response does not come across as hurtful. This chapter is about how to build communication strength in partnerships while maintaining a balance between quick-wittedness and empathy. Communication skills in partnerships. Communication skills in partnerships. A successful partnership is based on open and respectful communication. Quick-wittedness can help to quickly resolve small misunderstandings or tensions, provided it is used with the right tone and the necessary sensitivity. The goal should always be to strengthen the connection between partners rather than exacerbate conflicts. Humor as a bridge. Humor is a powerful tool in relationships to ease tension and create a positive atmosphere. Quick-witted. Humorous remarks can lighten everyday discussions and ensure that even serious topics are discussed with ease. Example. Situation. You left the toothpaste tube open again. Quick-witted answer. I thought she felt confined and wanted to get some fresh air. Humor in such situations takes the pressure off the situation without ignoring the real issue. It shows that you take the comment seriously, but don't make it too serious. Clarity and respect in communication. In relationships, quick-wittedness should never be used as a means of devaluing or belittling the other person. Instead, it should strengthen the basis for open, respectful communication. It is important that the quick-witted response maintains respect for the other person's feelings. Example. Situation. You never really listen to me. Quick-witted but respectful response. Maybe I'm not listening because I'm still so fascinated by the last thing you said. This type of quick-witted response signals humor, but takes the partner's feelings seriously and opens the conversation for further discussion. Defusing conflicts with quick-witted diplomacy. Disagreements are inevitable in relationships. Quick-wittedness can help de-escalate conflicts and change the tone of the conversation to a more positive level without trivializing the seriousness of the problem. Example. Situation. You are always late. Quick-witted, diplomatic answer. I just wanted to make sure you had enough time to look forward to my arrival. Such answers help to bring the conversation to a humorous and non-aggressive level, so that an open and solution-oriented discussion becomes possible. Quick-wittedness and empathy. How to keep the balance. Quick-wit can enrich communication in a relationship, but it must always be balanced with empathy. Finding the right balance means not using quick-wit as mere weapons in discussion, but as a means of interacting with each other in a humorous and respectful way. Listening and understanding. Empathy begins with active listening. Before you give a quick-witted response, make sure you really understand your partner's feelings and intentions. A quick-witted remark can quickly become hurtful if it misses the partner's problem or feelings. Technology. Active listening. Make sure you really understand what your partner means before you respond. Repeat what you heard to avoid misunderstandings. If I understand you correctly, you feel left out right now. Is that right? Pause and reflect. Take a moment to reflect on whether your quick-witted response is appropriate for the moment. Ask yourself, will my response ease the situation or make it worse? Quick-wittedness as a means of confirmation. Quick-wittedness and empathy don't have to be mutually exclusive. With the right technique, you can use quick-witted remarks to make your partner feel heard and understood. Example. Situation. You forgot to take out the trash again. Empathetic. Quick-witted answer. That's right. I really messed up this time. Maybe I need to set a reminder. Or you can put the garbage right in my way. By responding in this way, you acknowledge your partner's concern and combine it with a humorous approach that lightens the situation. Beware of sarcasm. Sarcasm can be dangerous in a relationship because it is often perceived as veiled criticism or devaluation. While sarcastic remarks can be funny in some contexts, they should be used with caution in partnerships because they can undermine empathy. Example of sarcastic communication. Situation. Have you done the laundry yet? Sarcastic answer. Yes. And I also discovered space. Such responses can anger or hurt your partner because they ridicule the question or concern. Make sure your witty remarks strengthen the relationship, not undermine it. Consider emotions. In emotionally charged situations, It is especially important to choose your quick-witted remarks carefully. If your partner reacts emotionally, a well-intentioned quick-witted response can be misunderstood and make the situation worse. Technology. Use emotional intelligence. Ask yourself how your partner is feeling and whether the moment is right for a quick-witted remark. Sometimes it's better to focus on empathetic responses and save the humor for later. Example. Situation. I'm really stressed right now. Empathic response. I notice that, and that's completely fine. How can I help you? In such moments, it is often better to acknowledge your partner's emotions before responding with humor. Avoid misunderstandings and resolve them skillfully. Misunderstandings are unavoidable in every relationship, whether professional or private. They often arise from unclear communication, different expectations, or emotionally charged situations. Quick-wittedness can help not only to avoid misunderstandings, but also to resolve them skillfully and charmingly. It is important to recognize misunderstandings early on and to address them with patience and clarity. In this section, you will learn how to avoid misunderstandings and, if they do occur, to resolve them confidently and quickly. Clear communication as a basis. The best way to avoid misunderstandings is to communicate clearly and precisely. Unclear or ambiguous statements can easily lead to the other person misunderstanding your message. Quick-wittedness helps here because it often works with short, concise, yet intelligent answers that leave little room for misinterpretation. Technology. Precise formulations. Try to make your statements as clear as possible. Avoid vague wording or hints and get straight to the point. Ask and clarify. If you feel that the other person has not understood your statement correctly, do not be afraid to ask, "Have I made myself clear, or do you understand what I mean?" Example. Situation. We should discuss this later. More precisely, let's talk about it again today at 3 p.m. so we can clear it up. By using precise wording, you create clarity and reduce the risk that your words will be misunderstood. Active listening and asking questions. Misunderstandings often arise because we don't really listen or misinterpret what the other person is saying. Active listening means concentrating fully on what the other person is saying and making sure you understand their message correctly. Quick-wittedness can also be enhanced by active listening because it allows you to respond more quickly and precisely. Technology. Summarize. Summarize what you have heard briefly to make sure you have understood it correctly. A simple technique is to repeat it in your own words. So, if I understand correctly, you are saying, ask. If you are unsure, ask. This will avoid misunderstandings later and show that you are paying attention. Questions such as "What exactly do you mean by?" or "Could you please explain that in more detail?" help to clear up any confusion. Example. Situation. I don't think that's a good idea. Answer. What exactly do you not like about the idea? Let's discuss it. By actively listening and asking specific questions, you ensure that you correctly understand the other person's perspective before you respond. Adopt an open and positive attitude. An open and positive attitude is the key to avoiding misunderstandings and steering the conversation in a constructive direction. Misunderstandings are often exacerbated by resentment, prejudice, or a negative attitude. Quick-wittedness can loosen up this attitude by creating an atmosphere in which both sides feel safe and heard. Technology. Positive language. Use positive and encouraging language, even when dealing with difficult topics. A quick-witted remark can help transform a negative situation and create space for clarifying conversations. Avoid defensiveness. Try not to immediately become defensive if you feel misunderstood. Instead, you can openly address the misunderstanding and help clarify it. Example. Situation. You said you would cook today, but I don't see any food. Answer. I understand the misunderstanding. I meant that I will order the food. Let's quickly choose something tasty. By having an open and positive attitude, you show that you are willing to clear up the misunderstanding without getting into a confrontational situation. Resolve misunderstandings charmingly. Even when misunderstandings occur, they can be diffused skillfully with charm and quick wit. The key is to acknowledge the misunderstanding without blaming the other person or escalating the situation. Quick wit helps here by resolving the misunderstanding in a humorous or elegant way and steering the conversation in a positive direction. Technology. Charming humor. Use humor to defuse the misunderstanding in a playful way. Humorous. Quick-witted answers show that you are not over-dramatizing the problem and are willing to solve it together. Don't take yourself too seriously. Sometimes it helps to be self-deprecating when a misunderstanding has arisen. This shows that you are willing to take the problem lightly and work on it. Example. Situation. I thought you wanted to help me, but you weren't there. Charming answer. I was there, just invisible. But next time I will be visible and actively there. By using humor you defuse the situation and create a positive basis for clarifying the misunderstanding. Taking responsibility for misunderstandings. Sometimes misunderstandings arise due to unclear communication on our part. In such cases, it is important to take responsibility in order to clarify the situation. Quick-wittedness does not only mean clever counter-argument, but also openly admitting when you have expressed something in a misleading way. Technology. Openness and clarity. Be open and admit when you believe you have been misunderstood or unclear. This shows that you are willing to work toward a constructive solution. Correction with charm. You can also combine a correction with a quick-witted remark to lighten the situation and at the same time clear up the misunderstanding. Example. Situation. I thought you said you would come at 5. Quick-witted reply. I guess I expressed myself too poetically. Let's make sure we make our appointments more clearly next time. This type of response shows that you take the misunderstanding seriously, but are also willing to resolve it in a positive and humorous way. Conclusion. Misunderstandings are difficult to completely avoid in any relationship, but through clear communication, active listening, and the use of quick wit, they can be resolved in a charming way. The right balance of empathy, humor, and clarity will help defuse misunderstandings and strengthen the relationship. If you see misunderstandings as opportunities to improve communication, they can even help deepen mutual understanding and connection. The power of words. Words have immense power. They can build or destroy, motivate or discourage, connect or divide. In the art of quick-wittedness and communication in general, words are the most important tool we have. Conscious communication means understanding the power of words and using them purposefully to clearly convey our intentions and persuade others. In this chapter, you will learn how to use your language consciously and how you can use words to communicate effectively and convincingly. Words as tools. Conscious communication. Conscious communication means using your language carefully and intentionally. It's about being aware of the effect of your words and formulating them in a targeted way to achieve the desired result. This requires both a feel for language and an understanding of how different words and phrases are received by the other person. Choose your words carefully. Not every word has the same effect. Some words evoke positive emotions, while others can provoke negative reactions. The key to conscious communication is choosing words that convey your message clearly and effectively, without causing misunderstandings or unnecessary conflict. Techniques for conscious word choice. Use positive language. Avoid negative language if possible. Positive language creates an open and constructive atmosphere for discussion. Instead of saying, "That's not a good idea," say, "I have another idea that might be a better fit." Be clear and direct. Avoid vague or awkward language. Be direct and say what you mean to avoid misunderstandings. For example, instead of saying "perhaps this could be done differently," say "I suggest we do it this way." Example of conscious communication. Instead of, "It will never work." Better, "It might work better if we try a different approach." By choosing your words carefully, you can convey your message more clearly and create a more positive atmosphere. Pay attention to the sound. It's all in the tone of voice, and that goes for communication too. Even the best words lose their impact if they are spoken in an inappropriate tone. A friendly, respectful tone can reinforce your words and help ensure they are received positively. Techniques for the right tone. Stay friendly and respectful. Speak in a tone that shows that you respect the other person, even in difficult or conflict-ridden conversations. A calm, friendly tone is often the key to de-escalating the situation. Avoid irony and sarcasm, especially in serious conversations. Sarcasm or irony can easily be misunderstood. Instead, use clear, friendly language that does not allow for negative interpretations. Example: instead of, "Yeah, that was really clever," sarcastic. Better, "I see what you were trying to do, but maybe there is a better solution." By using a respectful tone, you show the other person that you take them seriously and increase the likelihood that your words will be taken seriously. Listening as part of conscious communication. Conscious communication is not a one-way street. In order to use your words effectively, you also have to listen actively. This is the only way to find the right words that fit the situation and meet the person you are talking to where they are. Techniques for active listening. Repeat and summarize. Show that you have really listened to the other person by summarizing what they said. For example, "If I understand you correctly, you are saying that." Pick up emotional signals. Pay attention to how your conversation partner reacts to your words. Posture. Facial expressions and tone of voice provide clues as to how your words were received and help you adapt your communication if necessary. Example: instead of just responding, say, "It sounds like you're really frustrated. What exactly is bothering you about the situation?" By actively listening, you show respect and create the basis for successful, conscious communication. How to use language to persuade. Persuasive communication is based on conveying clear messages and gaining the trust of your counterpart. It's not just about being quick-witted, but also about choosing words that convince others and get them excited about your ideas. Using the power of stories. Stories are a powerful tool for persuading people. They evoke emotions, create connections, and make abstract ideas tangible. A good story can make complex concepts easier to understand and support your arguments in a way that mere facts often cannot. Technology. Use stories to illustrate your points. Instead of just providing dry facts, Tell a short story that supports your arguments. This story should be authentic, relevant, and make a clear connection to your message. Example: instead of, our method is more efficient. Better: I recently saw a colleague try our method and he was able to get his work done in half the time. Stories bring your arguments to life and help your counterpart to identify with your message. Using positive language to motivate. Positive language is not only useful in everyday communication, but is also a powerful tool for motivating and persuading others. By formulating your words positively, you create an atmosphere that inspires action and influences the other person in your direction. Technology. Formulate positively instead of negatively. Instead of saying what isn't working, focus on what might work. Instead of saying, that won't work, say, it might work if we try it this way. Example: instead of, the project will be difficult. Better: the project will be challenging, but I am sure that with the right plan we can do it. By using positive language, you motivate your listeners to share your opinion and participate actively. Repetition and clarity for persuasiveness. Repetition is an effective way to reinforce your message. If you cover key points multiple times and repeat them in different ways, your message will be more memorable and persuasive in the long term. Technology. Repeat key points. When you make an argument, summarize your main points at the end of the conversation. This reinforces your message and ensures that it has been heard and understood. Example: in summary, if we implement this plan, we can save time, work more efficiently and reach our goal faster. Through repetition and clear structure you make your argument more persuasive. Conclusion. Consciously use the power of words. The right choice of words can make the difference between misunderstanding and clarity, between rejection and agreement. Conscious communication means using words as tools to convey your messages clearly, respectfully and convincingly. Use positive language, active listening techniques and stories to strengthen your arguments and persuade others. If you use the power of words consciously and purposefully, you will be able to communicate more effectively and achieve your goals. The influence of positive language use. Positive language is a powerful tool that not only improves communication, but also influences people's thinking and behavior. The way we speak not only shapes our perception of the world, but also that of the people we talk to. Positively worded words and sentences create a climate of openness, trust and motivation. In this section, we look at the influence of positive language on interpersonal relationships, our own way of thinking and the effect we have on others. Positive language use influences the mood and atmosphere. Words have the ability to direct the mood and atmosphere in a conversation. Positive language creates an environment where people feel understood and respected. It helps to create a constructive and harmonious atmosphere in which problems can be solved and relationships strengthened. Technology. Use positive wording. Make sure to use positive alternatives instead of negative statements. Instead of saying, that's not working, say, let's see how we can improve this. Express appreciation. By using positive words such as thank you, I appreciate that, or you did a good job, you create an atmosphere of appreciation and mutual respect. Example: instead of, we have a problem. Better, we have a challenge that we can solve together. By using positive language, you create space for creative solutions and encourage the other person to also think positively and openly. The influence on one's own way of thinking. Positive language use not only influences the conversations we have with others, but also our own way of thinking. The words we use have a direct impact on our emotions and our self-confidence. When we learn to formulate our thoughts and statements in a more positive way, our view of the world also changes. Technology. Use self-affirming language. Replace negative self-talk with positive language. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," say, "I will try and do my best." Future-oriented thinking. Instead of focusing on problems, focus your thoughts on solutions and possibilities. Formulate your goals in positive, active sentences. I will achieve my goals instead of "I hope it works out." Example. Instead of, "That will definitely be difficult." Better, "It might be challenging, but I'm ready to do my best." By using positive language, you strengthen your self-confidence and your inner attitude, which helps you to approach challenges with more motivation and calm. Positive language use motivates others. Positive words have a motivating effect on those you are talking to. People feel encouraged, supported and valued through positive language. This not only strengthens interpersonal relationships, but can also increase commitment and productivity in teams and partnerships. Technology. Use motivating language. Instead of expressing criticism or doubt, focus on encouraging and empowering your conversation partners. Use phrases like "I know you can do this" or "you have the potential to be successful." Recognize successes. Praise the successes and progress of your colleagues, friends or family members. Recognition creates a positive dynamic and motivates further effort. Example. Instead of, "This could be better." Better, "You've done great so far. Let's see how we can improve it even further." By providing positive feedback, you create an environment where people feel safe and willing to do more. Positive language builds trust. Positive language helps build trust, whether in professional or personal relationships. People who use positive words are often perceived as more approachable, reliable and likable. This promotes open and honest communication and strengthens trust between conversation partners. Technology. Respectful communication. Express appreciation and gratitude regularly. Words like "thank you for your support" or "I really value your opinion" let the other person know that their contributions are important. Use optimistic language. When you use optimistic words in your conversations, you convey confidence and encourage trust in your shared goals. Optimistic people are often perceived as inspirational, which increases their credibility and trust in them. Example. Instead of, "I'm not sure if this will work." Better, "I am confident that we will find a way." Optimism and positive language help your counterpart feel safe and trust that challenges can be overcome together. The long-term effect of positive language use. In the long term, positive language use leads to an overall better quality of life. People who focus on positive words and thoughts tend to be happier, more successful, and more resilient to stress. Positive language not only shapes your relationships with others, but also your relationship with yourself. Technology. Daily positive rituals. Incorporate positive language into your daily rituals, such as saying a positive affirmation to yourself in the morning or ending the day by praising yourself for something you did well. Cultivate positive language. Be aware of how you speak and react in everyday situations. Practice consciously shaping your thoughts and words in a positive way, even in challenging moments. Example. Instead of, "Today was a tiring day." Better, I accomplished a lot today and am proud of my progress. Through these small adjustments, positive language becomes a habit that improves your thinking and perception in the long run. Conclusion: the positive influence of language on your life. Positive language use has a profound effect on your relationships, your mindset, and your quality of life. Words shape the way you see the world and how others perceive you. Through conscious and positive communication, you can improve your relationships, build trust, motivate others, and strengthen your own inner attitude. Positive language is more than just optimism. It is a conscious decision to actively shape life and the world around you. Success strategies for advanced users. Quick-wittedness is an art that can be continually refined with practice and experience. For advanced learners, it's not just about being able to counter quickly and cleverly, but also about analyzing the situation and choosing the right technique at the right moment. In this chapter, we'll introduce advanced techniques that will help you take your quick-wittedness to the next level. It's also about the wisdom of knowing when silence is the best option and analyzing famous quick-witted people. The best techniques for professionals. For advanced speakers, it's not enough to just react to what is being said. You need to be able to recognize the dynamics of the conversation, manage the emotions of those involved, and stay in control of the situation. Here are some of the best techniques that will take your quick-wittedness to a professional level. Mirror technology. The mirror technique is a clever way to return the ball without attacking directly. You repeat what the other person has said, either word for word or slightly modified, to make the other person think. Example: attacker: you are really incompetent. Answer: I really am incapable. In a questioning tone. By returning the statement, you make the attacker reflect on his or her own words and often create confusion or self-doubt. The reinterpretation. Reframing means reversing the meaning of a negative comment and giving it a positive or humorous interpretation. This technique is particularly effective because it brings a surprising twist to the conversation and often takes the wind out of its sails. Example: attacker: that's a strange opinion. Answer: yes, I knew that not everyone would like it. That's what makes it so unique. By reinterpreting it, you turn the criticism into a compliment and retain control of the conversation. The counter-question. Counter-questions are a subtle but very effective technique for deflecting a provocative remark. By asking a counter-question, you draw attention away from yourself and force the other person to reconsider or justify their statement. Example: attacker: why are you always so negative? Answer: why do you feel that way? This technique opens the conversation and shifts the responsibility to the attacker, who suddenly finds himself in a position where he has to explain. The time gain. Sometimes it can be wise to give yourself time before you respond. A short pause or a slight delay gives you a chance to organize your thoughts and come up with the best quick-witted response. Technology. Short silence. Instead of answering immediately, take a moment to think. Silence often creates tension and shows that you are in control of the situation. This can cause the other person to reconsider their statement or even back off. When silence is the best retort, there are times when silence is more powerful than any quick-witted response. This is especially true in situations where a verbal response would increase tension or unnecessarily escalate the conflict. Silence can signal respect, self-control, and composure. Silence as a means of power. Silence can be an effective tactic if you want to maintain control of the situation. If you don't react immediately to a provocation, you signal that you are not going to be disturbed and that the other person's words have no power over you. Example: attacker, that was an absolutely stupid idea. Answer: silence, accompanied by a calm look. This type of silence creates space for reflection and often disarms the attacker because he does not receive the reaction he expected. Silence as conflict avoidance. In heated arguments, it is sometimes better to say nothing to avoid escalating the conflict. Silence can show that you are not willing to get involved in an aggressive argument and are instead focusing on de-escalation. Example: in an emotionally charged discussion in which both parties are heated, silence can create a calming pause that paves the way for a factual continuation of the conversation. Silence as a sign of sovereignty. Silence is sometimes the best way to demonstrate self-control and sovereignty. It shows that you are able to control your emotions and not respond to every provocation. Example: in a business meeting, when someone makes an inappropriate comment, silence can often seem more elegant and professional than a quick-witted retort. Examples and analyses of famous quick-witted personalities. History is rich in personalities famous for their quick wit. These people master the art of quick and clever reactions and use words to defend themselves or strengthen their position. Let's look at some examples and analyze how they masterfully use quick wit. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was known for his sharp tongue and his ability to deliver humorous and quick-witted answers even in difficult situations. Example: a lady once said to Churchill, "If you were my husband, I would put poison in your tea." Churchill replied, "And if I were your husband, I would drink it." Analysis. Churchill's response shows how he elegantly turned the provocation around by using humor as a shield. Instead of defending himself, he seized on the remark and turned it into a humorous counter. Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was famous for his sharp wit and his polished words. His quick wit was always elegant and often contained a deep meaning. Example: a critic said to Wilde, "I do not agree with a word of your play." Wilde replied, "I expected nothing less from you." Analysis. Wilde mastered the art of meeting criticism with stylish contempt. He used his quick wit to show that he did not consider his critic's opinion important without being offensive. Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama is known for her calm and thoughtful way of responding to criticism. She often uses quick wit to elegantly respond to attacks and strengthen her position. Example: when Michelle Obama was asked about criticism of her husband, she said, "When they pull down, we go higher." Analysis. This statement shows how quick-wittedness can also be used in the form of moral superiority and a positive attitude. Instead of stooping to the level of the attacker, it signals composure and strength. Conclusion. Advanced quick-wittedness requires not only speed and cleverness, but also strategic thinking and situational awareness. The best techniques for professionals range from mirroring to reframing to the deliberate use of silence. It's not always about finding the best answer, but sometimes it's about not giving an answer at all. By analyzing famous quick-witted people, we can learn how they mastered this art and how we can apply their techniques in our own conversations. Practical exercises for more quick-wittedness. Quick-wittedness is a skill that can be developed and improved through regular training and targeted exercises. In this chapter, you will learn practical exercises that you can use to sharpen your quick-wittedness in everyday life. This includes daily exercises, role plays, challenges that promote your quick-witted development, and the role of feedback and self-reflection. Daily exercises and role plays. Daily practice sessions are key to improving your quick-wittedness. They help you develop faster thought processes and react better in challenging situations. Here are some effective exercises you can implement daily. Word associations. Word associations train your ability to make connections between concepts at lightning speed. This exercise promotes creative thinking and helps you respond spontaneously to unexpected comments. Exercise. Take any word and immediately think of the first word that comes to mind. Repeat this with different terms and try to find associations as quickly as possible. Example. Starting word. Car, drive, road, journey, adventure. This exercise will help you make associations more quickly and transfer this skill to quick-witted answers. Role-playing games. Role-playing games are a great way to simulate typical situations that require quick-wittedness. They help you play through different scenarios and hone your reaction skills. Exercise. Ask a friend or colleague to make a provocative or challenging comment that you must respond to immediately. Act out the situations as realistically as possible to get a feel for what it would be like. Example. Provocation. Why are you always so poorly organized? Quick-witted answer. Because I prefer to be flexible. Chaos often produces the best ideas. Role-playing games develop your ability to react calmly and cleverly under pressure. They help you find quick-witted answers that not only defuse the situation but also strengthen your position. Question and answer games. Question and answer games are a quick exercise to respond spontaneously to unexpected questions or comments. This trains your thinking speed and promotes your quick-wittedness in everyday life. Exercise. Ask each other questions that require an immediate, quick-witted answer. Start with easy questions and increase the level of difficulty. Example. Question. Why did you spill your coffee again? Answer. Because the coffee was just too excited to finally come out. This exercise develops your ability to respond spontaneously and creatively, even when the questions are unexpected or challenging. Challenges for your quick-witted development. To further develop your quick-wittedness, you should set yourself specific challenges that take you out of your comfort zone and test your abilities. Daily provocation. Challenge yourself to overcome one provocative remark or difficult situation every day. This can be in a professional or private context. Exercise. Make it a goal to come up with a quick-witted response to every provocative remark you encounter, even for small, everyday comments like, "You look tired today." Example. Comment. "You look really stressed today." Quick-witted answer. "This is my new superhero outfit. It changes depending on how I feel that day." Through daily challenges, you develop the ability to react confidently and quickly in different situations. Provocative conversations. Sometimes it's helpful to deliberately engage in challenging conversations to practice your quick-wittedness. Challenge someone to make provocative or difficult statements that you have to respond to. Exercise. Sit down with a friend and simulate a discussion where the goal is to retort to each other. This will develop your ability to respond to unexpected comments while controlling the tone of the conversation. Example. Provocation. "You have no idea what you're talking about." Quick-witted answer. "Maybe not, but I find my path to knowledge particularly exciting right now." These conversations will help you hone your quick-wittedness in more complex and conflict-laden situations. Setting boundaries. A challenge for advanced practitioners is to set clear boundaries without appearing unfriendly or defensive. This requires quick-witted responses that are simultaneously diplomatic and firm. Exercise. Practice clearly and wittily stating your boundaries in everyday situations. For example, when someone is taking up too much of your time or energy. Example. Situation. Can you do this quickly for me? Quick-witted answer. I would love to, but unfortunately I have already used up my time for miracles today. Through such exercises, you learn to use your quick-witted answers not only creatively, but also as a tool for maintaining your personal boundaries. Feedback and self-reflection. Getting better through observation. Feedback from others will help you look at your quick-wittedness from a different perspective. Ask friends, colleagues, or mentors for honest feedback on your quick-witted responses. Exercise. After a role play or a real situation, ask your counterpart for feedback on your reaction. What did you think of my answer? Could I have done something differently? Through regular feedback, you can see how your quick-wittedness is received by others and where you can improve. 2. Self-reflection after conversations. After conversations or situations in which you had to react quickly, it is helpful to reflect on the situation again. Ask yourself what went well and what you could do differently in the future. Exercise. Keep a quick-wittedness diary in which you record situations in which you successfully responded with quick wit and those in which things didn't go so well. Write down what you learned and how you can continue to improve. Rights and ownership notice. This audiobook is published and distributed by Testbericht-Institut LLC. All copyrights, publishing rights, distribution rights, audio rights, and related intellectual property rights for this work have been lawfully and exclusively acquired by Testbericht-Institut LLC. Testbericht-Institut LLC is the sole and unrestricted rights holder of this audiobook, including the right to reproduce, distribute, publish, monetize, and publicly perform the content on digital platforms such as YouTube. The original manuscript files, source documents, and contractual acquisition records serve as proof of lawful ownership. The original author and or their authorized representative, Renovatio LLC, has transferred all relevant rights to Testbericht-Institut LLC in accordance with applicable copyright and publishing law. This ownership applies to all current and future uses of this work, including audio, video, and digital publications. Effective date of rights ownership: the 1st of February 2026. Any unauthorized use, reproduction, re-upload, redistribution, or claiming of this content is strictly prohibited. Copyright Testbericht-Institut LLC. All rights reserved.